Hi, I'm Emily Calderon Galdiano. I graduated in 1999 from Southwestern University with a double major in political science and Spanish. During my time at SU, I was involved in quite a few activities. All 4 years, I was a cheerleader, and it got involved in multiple ways that I could also volunteer and give back to the community. So, for example, in fall of '96, some friends and I founded Latinos Unidos. In about, fall '97, we also founded Amigas, which was a program where we would mentor incoming first-year Latina students. Got involved with really giving back to the volunteer community here, so working with the city of Georgetown. And then also enjoyed my first time working in the legislature, thanks to Dr. O'Neill. So when I first came to SU, there was another organization called Mexican American Student Association. For me, I'm half Mexican, half Salvadoran. And so I'm proud of both of those cultures and proud of, who I am because of these two cultures of who my parents are. And so in talking with different friends, we had some who were Venezuelan, Dominican. And so we were saying, how can we create an organization that honors all these different cultures? And so we said, let's do Latinos Unidos. And again, bringing in all these different groups and these different communities. We also partnered a lot with Ebony, and so the partner organization for our Black and African American students. And so it was great having this dynamic of having these two different communities come together and work together, and then really connect with the Latino community in Georgetown. How could we give back? One of the biggest things is, I'm a big believer that if you can't see it, you can't be it. And so how can we be these role models for young people and for the children? And so we would give back to Georgetown Elementary School. We'd go to the Georgetown Library and do different things like that so that we could connect both the Latino community in Georgetown to the student community so that we can, again, have this larger space of just welcoming, a space where folks felt comfortable and a space where folks felt like they could just embrace and celebrate their culture. I didn't want to come back after my first year of school. I came up my first semester and it was so different from where I was, where I was from in the Valley. And I went back home and my dad said, no, you need to try another year, give it a second year. And then if you're really not happy, then you can come back home to one of the universities here. And so I did. We came back, found my people, and then that was just really what made Southwestern feel more like home. That's when I was just like, okay, I got involved more, got engaged more with the different activities on campus. And it made me feel like I had, again, this safe space. And that's not the only thing that's going to shape my college career, but it was something that made me had that tether to home and helped make me feel that I was in community. I always credit Eric Selbin. He was my political science advisor, my political science professor. And I'd come in with pre-med, as that was to be my major. And I remember when I dropped that major in favor of political science, my parents were like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I don't love it. But this I love. And this professor, and he just awoke something in me and thinking about politics and policy and revolutions and social movements. And it was fantastic. And one of the things, and I always credit him, is that in class, he would call me Dr. Calderon. And with some people, he would call them by their first name. There was a few of us that he would call us Dr. So-and-so. And I asked him once during one of my advising appointments, why do you call me that? And he said, I see that for you, and I want you to get comfortable with people calling you doctor. And so to have somebody tell me that was just wow, somebody sees this for me. And sure enough, I have my doctorate. I am Dr. Calderon Galdiano. And the other people that he also called doctor also have their doctorates. So that's a really beautiful legacy. The other one is Dr. O'Neill and his course in American political science, doing things like that. Our capstone class that we had with him, it was because of him that I started to work in the Texas legislature for my first stint. And in our capstone class, he had us write a paper of, in 20 years, what is your prediction for politics? And so then the plan was that we would then come back 20 years later to present that. And so that was great, just kind of thinking through both present and future tense, and just the fantastic conversations with both of those folks was really, I think, to me, the quintessential Southwestern experience. So coming to Southwestern, it was a different experience from the Valley, right? So we're in South Texas, about 90% of the folks look like me. Here, it was a tapestry of folks. And so the diversity that existed here was great to see. At the same time, it was new. It was new in different ways. And diversity means not just by race, ethnicity, but religion, by upbringing, by class, all these different things. And so coming here, it was, I was exposed to that, but at the same time, trying to figure out where I could be and where was the space that I felt most comfortable in. But even coming here, notice that there was certain things that I wasn't as prepared for. And in conversations with friends that were from other parts of the state or from other maybe more affluent communities, there were extra courses that they had that we didn't have back home. And so there was certain ways, again, to being prepared for college that others didn't. And I am not a first-gen college student. My mother has her college degree. So that was something, I had a leg up on some folks in that I at least knew how the college process worked. But even then, it was very different. My mother went to school close to home. I left to go to school. And that's a different dynamic. And so trying to see and understand diversity, what does diversity mean? And it's like, okay, we've got all these folks who look these different ways. Now, how do we include them? How do we make sure that we are getting what they need and in the ways that they need it? So equity, is also something that's super important. How are we getting students what they need, how they need, when they need it, and in the way that they need it? And so it's trying to figure out all these different things. So my experience here at SU kind of like lifted or showed me different ways and how the education system is so different in different parts of the state, different parts of the community. And that then started showing me like, okay, what can I do so that when other students who maybe don't have everything and who don't have all the AP classes or all the different things that their high school can offer, what can we do to make sure that they are in a space that is welcoming, that is inclusive, that is a space where they know that they can be and that is set up to succeed? It's not just offering the classes. It's like, what does a community look like? And again, Southwestern is a very unique community, which is beautiful. And so how do we make sure that everyone, regardless of their type of background, has a space, has a niche where they feel like I'm a big part of the overall fabric and quilt of what makes, Southwestern beautiful? It really was a foundational piece for my work after this. One of the greatest things about being a Hispanic serving institution and getting that designation is that it's an enrollment definition to qualify for it, which means at least 25% of the students are of Hispanic descent. That's part of it. The great thing is that is just to qualify. Once you receive the funds, these are capacity building funds for the university, which means these funds can be used for anything. It can be used for building a science lab. It can be used for expanding the library. It can be used for different things for all of the students. So you qualify based on your enrollment, but you can use it for all. And I think that's where some folks think that maybe like, oh, if Southwestern is a Hispanic serving institution, are they not serving the others? Quite the contrary. Again, because it's capacity building, it now serves all students. Opportunity is out there. Access to opportunity is not always out there. And so how do we increase access? How do we increase access to all these different things so that our students are ready for the rigors of a liberal arts institution, a 2-year institution, a 4-year institution, or whatever it is that they want to do after they graduate from high school? And so when we're looking at this here at Southwestern and my experience, I'm always thinking that I'm a big proponent of leadership is action, not position. And so as students, we can create an organization. We can create something. We can start making demands of the administration, or we can start making an improvement and engaging with our community in the city, local, state, national, etc. So one of the biggest things is when we're talking about education and for our young people, I want to make sure that no matter where you're from, no matter who you are, you have access to what it is that you want to do in life. That's what keeps me up at night, is that how do we make sure that we've got all these different, that kids know that there's lots of possibilities for them out there, and that it is really just limited by the power of the imagination. I am one of I think there's 125,000, somewhere around there, Latinas with a doctorate in the United States. That's not a lot when you look at our total US population. So with that, for me, that is a sense of responsibility that I carry, not just for my family, but for my community, but for my world. I know I'm not the only one. I know that there are kids so much smarter than me, and how can I help them achieve their dreams? And that has been part of that is like you got woken up when I was here at SU. So the most rewarding part of my work is being able to work with different partners throughout our community. We work with different sectors, K-12, higher ed, government, corporate, philanthropy, justice, all these different types of sectors all coming together around our young people. And that's just been a beautiful thing to see. I'm excited about that because this is life-changing. I mean, it's changing trajectories, it's economic mobility, it's something that's going to be affecting generations. It's hard work, it's long work, it's tired, but it's good, it's work for my soul. It's work that I truly believe in. It's work that I know is going to make a difference, not just in the lives of these individual students, but in their families, in their grandkids, and all this, because this is legacy work that we're working on. And that's just awesome to be a part of that, to be able to say that I'm a part of this community that's doing this. That's just amazing work. So my advice for current Southwestern students is get involved. Find something for you. There's going to be something, whether it's intramurals, whether it's athletics, whether it's government, whether it's creating your own organization like we did. There's something for you. And when you find that, and when you find your people, your community, that's amazing. And talk to your professors. My advisors were amazing. I still think of the folks who brought me, who interviewed me, brought me in, were my advisors on different organizations, and then were my advisors at school. These folks wrote my letters of recommendation for grad school and for my doctoral program. So, there's some fantastic relationships, and just have fun. We've got some great memories from when I was in college, and I'm really appreciative for everything, and take advantage. I mean, if you can, study abroad. Try to do that too. That's a great opportunity, because when are you going to have that opportunity to be gone for a few months?